All right, y'all, this is a dire situation right now. And we are live on this beautiful Tuesday morning. God bless everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah. As the Bitcoin price right now is at a dire level. Guys, this is very intense. I'm very scared. I'm very emotional. Okay? Now, I'm sure some of you guys can relate. Here's what I do to help with my emotions. I take the nose clip. I squeeze it on the nose. I take the plunger. I do deep breathing work. That's what my therapist told me. Because these days, guys, everyone needs a therapist. You know, a few generations ago, nobody needed a therapist. You know, my grandparents that fought in the war saw horrible, terrible things. They were fine. All right. But me, my generation, we need therapy, baby. We can't handle the small things in life, like Bitcoin dumping during this epic live stream. Whew. Jason, relax. Make sure to like the video because, as usual, if we can get 1,000 likes during the first half hour, we will be giving away $1,000. Also, guys, BLOFIN is going to be giving away $500 this stream. Make sure to sign up with the link in the pinned chat or the description of the video for a chance to win $100 to trade with, courtesy of BLOFIN, which is currently offering 10% cash back, everything you deposit anyway, up to $1,000 future bonus, and a whole bunch of juicy prizes, like a chair. I oftentimes wonder to myself, how much better would my life be if I had this chair? I might get to sit down for once. Now, as you can see, the Bitcoin price is bouncing from a key level, but we're also rejecting from a key level as we are forming potentially a bullish falling wedge pattern. All right, this is pretty intense, I do have to say. This is pretty intense. All right, we got to give a major shout out to everybody in the chat right now. Major shout out to Vincent. He says, LMFAO, bro, you're hilarious. Shout out to Nirvana. He says, back in the day, we all had plungers. That's true. Shout out to Thur Tiger. Shout out to Gravy Train. Shout out to EME24. Shout out to HFG. What's going on, bro? God bless you. Shout out to Kespo. Shout out to FTX. Risk Management Department. You are my therapist, Jay. Shout out to Jessica Lyon. The nose clip, look, it hurts, but it takes your mind off the fear. 618 is the hope. We'll talk about it, all right? We will talk about it. I have a lot to talk about today. Shout out to Monty, who says, good morning, Egos. Lego my ego. Shout out to Joe Potter. He says, let's pump the Bitcoin, baby. Let's go. Shout out to Preparing for War. Shout out to Crypto Coons. Shout out to Daniel. Shout out to Kespo. Shout out to Soheil Memar. He says it's a trap. We'll find out, man. We will find out. Make sure to smash up the likes. All right, make sure to smash them up. Let's see. Look at this. You guys can see everything on my screen. Isn't that interesting? Look at that. You can see it all, man. Oh, you can even see my text messages. Wow. And my files. Wow. You know, if there's one thing I'm good at, it's about doxing myself, you know? That's crazy. Well, here we are back on the chart, man. And speaking of the chart, let's pop on over to TradingView and see what's going on here. Well, first of all, let's walk through a little bit what's happened, all right? Let's walk through a little bit what's happened. We have to understand that the Bitcoin price, right, is coming on down, right? It's coming on down to a very key area of support. As we can see right here from our support resistance flip level, we are indeed finding some kind of a bounce. And so we've been looking for longs around this area, right? We've been looking for longs around this area in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, all right? We have given the trades in advance. As we're looking for these long trades, we were looking at 111. Let the community know I took that long trade, gave it right from the exact bottom, locked in a juicy profit, all right? Then, of course, once again, we came down a little bit lower a few days later, and we took another long trade and locked in a juicy profit, okay? Then after this juicy profit, I let my community know I was entering into a short trade, right? Why was I entering a short trade? For all the reasons given here. And then, of course, as we're dropping down, last week of August, last week, we're looking at this key level of around 107 260 for a potential long, and things were looking pretty dang good. All right, things were looking pretty dang good. And of course, you know, we get the setup in advance as well. And my community knows, if you're in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, that I have been in a long trade since Friday, actually. And this is it. This is it. I've been holding this trade since Friday, holding it in the green, holding it in the red. All right. If you want to join the best community in the world, you can go to jasoncaspertrading.com, click the link to join the dang community, where we have a whole bunch of new cool things going on in the community today. Starting yesterday, actually. Now you get rewarded for participating in the community. So we're going to be doing literally cash giveaways for people who are invested in the community, posting, helping people out. It even extends to people who comment on YouTube and on Twitter. All right, we're trying to build an ecosystem that rewards people that put a lot into the community. If you put a lot into the community, you get a lot out of it. All right, so that brings us back right here to our current trade. I have lost $1,000 pretty much since right before starting this countdown, because the Bitcoin price is coming to a very key level and is rejecting, and that's this, guys. If we take a look at the chart over here, we can see something quite peculiar, which is this. We have lost the value area high of this macro range. All right, this macro range right over here. Basically, since November 9th, 2024 to our present day, this has been considered the fair value zone. All right, it's been considered the fair value zone. This green line right here. All right, we do not want to lose this green line, because if we do, the probabilities are actually highest that we make our way back down to around $97,000. And as you can see, we have gotten a pump over the past few hours, and we are currently now rejecting on the daily from this key level. Very, very not good. All right, very, very not good. I got to be honest, that is very, very not good. We're going to be taking a look at our oscillator here. We're going to be taking a look at all the things. We're going to consider all things here, because that's what we need to do as traders, right? We're not predicting, we're just preparing. Now, first of all, why were we looking for a bounce from this specific area? There's a multiplicity of reasons, starting with the fact that if we take our Fibonacci from the low to the high, you can see that our Fibonacci golden pocket retracement is right down here at around 107.4. Okay, so we're bouncing from the golden pocket from June's low to our all-time high. In addition to this, if we take an anchored VWAP from the low that we made back here in April, you can see we're also bouncing from this anchored VWAP. All right. In addition, we know that this value area high here is not just one level, it's kind of a zone. And when you're on the high time frames, you can't just look for a level, you have to look for the zone. This right here, where we are currently looking for this bounce, is what's known as a make it or break it zone on Bitcoin. Because if we don't hold this level, guys, this opens up the doorway for much, much further downside. How much, you ask? How much, you ask? Quite a bit. The reason why I say this is because you can see here that when you get a fake out of a large fair value zone, and then you come back inside the zone, probabilities are actually highest that you fill the complete fair value zone. So back here in April, when we reclaimed $86,000, we were screaming from the housetops, new all-time high is very probable, most probable. If we cannot hold this box, guys, I'm going to have to be screaming through the housetops that a big drop is most probable. First of all, we're going to be looking at around $97,000 high volume node. But then if we don't hold that, we're going to have to be looking down towards our $86,000 value area low. That's just what becomes most probable. Okay? And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here. I'm just being realistic. Realistic is this. Now, please bear in mind here, guys, as you're listening to me give this analysis, I am not saying this is going to happen. But when I trade with if-then scenarios. If the price does such and such, then this is what we would expect, right? That's the way I trade. I don't make predictions. I say if, for example, the price comes back down to this level and we see certain confirmations, then I'll take a long trade, right? I'm not making predictions about what the price is going to do. I don't know what the price is going to do. right? If the price comes down here and we get our confirmations, then we take a trade, okay? But we have to go with the probabilities, honestly. Because if you see here a video about can you survive on $100,000 a year in New York City, which I thought was quite interesting, ended up being about a pizzeria shop, which was quite inspiring. But if we do go to the Jason Casper YouTube channel here, and we do take a look at his videos, we can see that back in April, when we were confirming very bullish signals, we were saying, look, the probabilities are highest that we come up here, all right? And so now that we have a bias, now that we have an if, which is the price comes above here, then we can look for a long trade up to a new all-time high. This is how you're actually going to, in my opinion, get an edge in these markets, okay? You have to create your if-then scenarios. And right now, we have two. If the price can hold this level, this zone, and we're printing bullish divergences, which we are, then I do expect Bitcoin to hit a new all-time high. This is either a moonshot level, but if the Bitcoin price fails to reclaim this level, especially if we fail to reclaim around $114,000, then I'd say the probabilities are actually highest. We could come down quite a bit lower here. Okay, now why do I say that? I don't want to be bearish on Bitcoin, guys. You have to understand. I want Bitcoin to pump, and I want altcoins to pump. This is what I want. This is actually how I'm positioned right now on spot. I am positioned so that I'm expecting an altcoin pump. I'll be totally honest. Everyone knows this if you follow my channel. As far as Bitcoin goes, I sold at 80K, 100K, 120K. All right, and 60K. I sold at 60, 80, 100, $120,000. All right, I bought Bitcoin under $20,000, put a lot of money in there. I'm 80% out of Bitcoin. Altcoins, I'm very heavily positioned in altcoins right now. Therefore, it's within my own advantage that Bitcoin does not dump right now, and that we hold support, and that we pump so that we can see Ethereum and Solana and AVAX, Chainlink, and Cardano hit new all-time highs. All right? But when I look at the chart, okay, I have to recognize that that's very unlikely to happen, at least now, if we start to lose this level. So we're going to be talking about a few different scenarios. I want to start with the bearish scenario because we just need to be aware. And then I'm going to talk about potential bullish scenarios. But if we take a look here at our weekly time frame, all right, there are some serious warning signs printing here. The first major warning sign is this. We are closing weekly candle below the value area high of the range while we are also printing a bearish divergence on the weekly time frame. We see the momentum and the money flow getting lower as the price is getting higher, giving us our dreaded upside down, Sam Bankman-Fried bearish man boot pattern. Now, the reason why it's called the Sam Bankman-Fried pattern is because this was the exact pattern that printed on the chart before FTX went under, causing a massive crash, all right? And if we superimpose the boobies on the chart, we can see the resemblance is quite striking. Now, usually I'd say, you know, this is not too much of a concern, but the fact that we've closed the weekly candle below 110 actually does make me a little bit concerned here, right? Okay, but it's okay. It's okay because remember, it's a zone, it's not just a level. All right, then we come down to our daily time frame, and we can see also that as the price is getting higher here over time, we're really seeing bearish divergences forming on our daily time frame. Okay, so that's a reason why we could get a little bit bearish here. Now, let's talk about some reasons why first of all, you guys saw the trade. I'm long, all right? I'm hoping for higher here. But let's talk about a bullish scenario. Look, when we analyze this chart here, and we're going to analyze this entire structure, in my opinion, this is a very bullish structure because as we came down to bounce from the bull market support, this is literally the macro bull market support. If we take a trend line going all the way back to 2022 and we pull it all the way through here, we're bouncing from the bull market support. And as we do, we are seeing market Cipher B printing what's known as a bullish divergence. All right, bullish divergence, deep momentum wave, shallow momentum wave, money flow getting higher. All right, also known as the good old-fashioned uneven butt cheek pattern, where you have a very large in charge You don't want to mess with this left butt cheek. You don't want to cross this butt cheek over here. It will smack you in the face. Cheek slap, baby. Then you have a skinny right butt cheek. Very skinny, like the waitress at the diner. The one, she's real skinny. She smokes a lot. She's got a Brooklyn accent. She's got like a raspy voice like this. Say, Jason, how you doing, hon? Let me get you a cup of coffee. All right, the skinny butt cheek over here. You can see when price is coming down to key support. Skinny butt cheek, boom. Price gets a pump. All right, that's what we got over here. All right, then what we have at $100,000 is a higher low, right? And we form a nice trigger wave on market Cipher B. Now, after your first leg up, you get a retracement. The second leg up is initiated by a trigger wave on market Cipher B. A trigger wave on market Cipher B is a wave that has continued direction from your initial divergence. So we can just draw a trend line here and see, okay, we had our deep wave, then we had our divergence wave, then we have a wave that's even less deep. It's called a trigger wave. From this point onward, every leg to the upside that we're going to get in the uptrend is going to be characterized by a lower wave. All right, so right now you can see that as we are coming down to this key zone support, we have confirmed, all right, we have confirmed a lower wave than what we confirmed back here at $100,000. All right, this is known as a hidden bullish divergence, and it is a continuation pattern. So when we look actually at the entirety of the bull market, right, this is actually a microcosm of what's been happening for the past few years, right? Bitcoin has a divergence that marks the bottom. Then we have a trigger wave to mark our first higher low. It's a continuation pattern. Then we have a lower wave right here back in August 2024, and we get another leg up. And then we have another lower wave back here in April 2025, a continuation pattern so far giving us this next leg up. And in my opinion, this leg up has not completed yet. All right, I think we have one more push on this leg up. I think that this hidden bullish divergence right here still has a little bit extra power. Just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. And then that's going to be the top of the bull market. Okay? This is my theory, and it's getting down to the wire, guys. It's getting down to the wire because this does need to happen in September. This does need to happen in September. So if we go back to our daily time frame, we have confirmed this hidden bullish divergence, and let's just go back to our Bitcoin trade here, because remember, I was up $6,000 in the beginning of the stream during the countdown, and now I'm only up $4,800 here. All right, I'm bleeding money. I'm losing money. All right, it's scary, man. This is scary stuff. $250,000 on the line, baby. All right, scary stuff. I'm telling you, man. Woof, woof. Relax, Jason. Relax. Okay. Nose clip. Deep breathing into the plunger. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Take another sip of coffee, Jason, from your Market Cipher mug. Oh, man. Shout out to CryptoFace. Shout out to Market Cipher. It's hard to drink with the nose clip. Oh. Okay, now, here's the deal. This is a confirmed hidden bullish divergence, so here's what needs to happen. There's two things that really need to happen. The most important resistance that we have right now, guys, and there's areas of resistance above us for sure, but the most important resistance that we have right now is going to basically be this area right here, all right? This area right here. We can even take off our volume profile. We have this key zone of support, basically characterized by this low right here. Basically this previous low that we made right here on Friday, July 25th. All right, this area right here is going to obviously be our very important area of resistance. We have ourselves a daily order block there, and then we have this previous zone of support. All right, so even if we get a pump here, I'm going to be holding the long trade. Yeah, I'm going to be expecting higher, but this is still a real possibility of simply just a fake out of this just to reject and come back down lower. Why do we have to be aware of that? It really is based on the volume, right? We have ourselves this previous range volume profile, and essentially the first major sign of strength here, First, I mean, we need to close above the macro value area high, but then it's going to be closing back inside of the fair value zone that we had from July 10th until our present day. Because remember, when you get a fake out below or above a fair value zone, once you come back inside of there, the probabilities are highest that you fill to the top, right? So, you know, if the low is in, if the low is in, I mean, it depends on what your definition of is. But if the low is in, all right, then this would be actually the next opportunity to get into a long trade would be a pump and a back test of around $114,000-ish, right? So that would be our first major sign of strength here on the chart. And I would say this, when I look at market Cipher B right now, and I look at the daily confirming a hidden bullish divergence, and I look at the 4 hour, the 4 hour to me looks really nice. If you saw my video 2 days ago, I was talking about how the 4 hour is looking very nice because the momentum is starting to curve to the upside. All right, we were looking at it back over here, right? We're looking at it right around here saying, you know what? The daily's about to print a hidden divergence, and the money flow on the 4 hour has bottomed out and is starting to come back up. And the momentum waves on the 4 hour have bottomed out and they're starting to come back up. When you're looking at market Cipher, you got to look at this thing not just as the dots, all right? People look at the dots, there's this thing called green dot-itis. All right, green dot-itis. Okay? Which is basically, the people are just looking at the dots. You don't look at that. In fact, you can just turn off your dots. Honestly, you have to look at this entire thing. It's a whole structure. What you want to see is, as the price is getting lower, before the price starts to get higher, you want to see the oscillator starting to get higher, right? So when we're coming down here and we're making another lower low, like this, right? We make another lower low down here. You're like, hey, we're making another lower low, but I've already seen the structure of the oscillator starting to make higher lows. That's called a bullish divergence, right? And so we have a confirmed daily bottom. We have a really nice looking 4 hour where, you know, again, I would say this. If we're going to just connect these momentum waves like this, this is going to take us back to the high that we made here on August 25th. All right, we technically speaking are breaking out of this downtrend of lower highs, right? On the oscillator right now, we were, this momentum, this trend line was our resistance. We've now printed a wave above that, okay? So there are some bullish signs here. And as we come down to our 1 hour time frame, same deal. Look at the money flow getting much higher as we're coming down to this level. Now remember, this is not just an arbitrary level, all right? That's another thing about the oscillator, market Cipher. You can't just use it in the middle of nowhere. You have to use it based on your key levels, all right? And this is based on a key level. This is based on a key level that we had on our chart at around 107.3, all right? In fact, the long that we gave yesterday, man. Would you look at this, the long from the Casper crew yesterday. Look at that. Look at that. See, when I draw, Bitcoin follows, baby. When I draw, Bitcoin follows. All right. But yeah, so it is looking kind of nice. Now, as you can see, I'm in a long trade, and if you're in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, jasoncaspertrading.com, where we give the setups in advance and 3 instructors every single day are doing their live trading, then you know that I've been in this long trade and that I've been kind of looking to add to it, even on another dip. Now, why? Why would I be even looking to add to it on another dip? Another dip. It's because this is a zone, all right? It's a zone. We have a zone around this area, and it's a very, very important level, okay? So even if we get another dip here, because we are simply just trading in like a sideways range right around this area, right? This is simply just, we have our clearly defined range high, we have our clearly defined range low. Even if we come back down to the low of the range again, all right? If we continue to print bullish divergences, like let's say that we come down again and the 4 hour gives us another trigger wave like this, you know, a lot of people are going to be getting really scared and bearish there. But if we know that the daily's already given us a hidden bullish div, that the 4 hour already looks really nice, and now we're actually seeing another push to the downside, but we're seeing a very, very juicy uneven butt cheek pattern. It's like, man, for me, I'm gonna have to I'm going to have to hold on to my long and or add to my long, right? Now, I also want to make it pretty clear that this is a make it or break it zone. That's the main reason why I'm being so aggressive here. Typically, I never hold trades into the red. All right, you guys who watch my channel, Jason, how come you never show your trades in the red? It's because I don't hold trades in the red. I don't know why you guys do. All right? I'm typically looking for a trade with like a 1% or less stop loss. Which means if my trade's in the red, it's over. It's over. It's over. The reason why I'm being a little bit more aggressive with this one is because I understand that this is such a make it or break it level that I'm willing to take the risk. And again, I want to be clear about the risk here. And you know what? All I can say is make sure you're using good risk management. All right, if you're in the Casper crew, you guys know exactly my risk strategy with all of this stuff. All right. But yeah, this is a very, very key level of support here. All right, so let's see how the daily candle closes. In about an hour, we're going to have New York opening. All right, New York opening, and I think we will probably see some intense volatility here. I have to remind everybody, make sure if you want to win $100, we're giving away $500 to 5 people. Make sure to sign up to BLOFIN using my link. You don't have to deposit a dang thing on BLOFIN. You just have to sign up using my link and get your user ID, and you're eligible to win $100. Also, if you sign up to BLOFIN, you get all this cool stuff. Also, guys, make sure to sign up to KCEX if you want the lowest fees possible. And KCEX is also often giving away $100 as well. So BLOFIN and KCEX, they pay you to stay. All right. Also, I'm trading on WEEX right now. This is the short trade that I took in the Casper Crew VIP Discord. That I told everybody I was taking in the Casper Crew. All right. When we took the long trade from this low here and then enter into a short around this area. Okay. Now, also, guys, I do have to say, if you know how to trade but you have no money, I am partnered with Klein Funding. It's a crypto prop firm, 15-25% discounts. We just gave away $250,000 worth of funded accounts on my Twitter channel. All right. So over on Twitter, shout out to these 5 winners. All right. They have just won a $50,000 funded account on Klein Funding. It runs on Bitget. All right. So it's pretty cool. You can get like a $6,000 account funded for only $30 using the coupons in the description of the video. All right. So it's actually a legitimately good deal as we are currently bleeding money from this scary long trade that we have here. Okay. And we got to give a major shout out to the super chats in the house. Let's see. Super chat in the house. Shout out to Felix H. He says, yo, Jay, hope you're good, bro. Much love from London. God bless you, Felix H. Thank you so much for the super chat. The VIX is ripping up. Not usually good for the market. Uh-oh. Shout out to Graham G. Most likely to bounce the previous day value area high. Shout out to I Breathe Victory. Wiki Cat is the bull run. Okay, cool. Shout out to Robert Harold. We've dropped about 15% from the previous high. It's technically on sale. We're taking out the CME gap from Loa. Shout out to Unseen TV, UK, Tony James. Shout out to Daniel Rodrovic. And he says, this is a long setup. Shout out to Sanjeev V. He says, hi, Casper. Love you, man. Please guide when to buy. Well, are we talking about buying on spot? Because I honestly, no stop loss, no stop... Come on, man. You know we don't use stop losses around here. What was I going to say? When to buy. I'll be honest, okay? I don't plan to buy Bitcoin at all until probably a year from now. Around a year from now, in the fall of 2026, I will be looking to buy Bitcoin with my tether. All right, with my tether. Until then, I'm not very interested in buying Bitcoin at any of these prices here, guys. Okay? I have sold my Bitcoin. I have sold Bitcoin at lower prices than this. I am not interested in buying Bitcoin. All right. Now, this is my own personal investment strategy. Y'all have to have your own, okay? For me, first of all, I'm a long-term hodler. I have Bitcoin that I will never sell, okay? Never. But then, underneath being a hodler, I have a different mindset of being a long-term trader. I buy Bitcoin when it's low and I sell it when it's high. So for me, that meant this time I was irresponsibly buying Bitcoin under $20,000, like irresponsibly buying Bitcoin down here, where to the point where I don't want to say that I put my family at risk, but I would just say if things didn't go my way, it would have been a little bit tight around here, okay? And so when you're buying down here, my plan was to sell at $60,000 Bitcoin. All right, that's a 250% gain. An $80,000 Bitcoin, that's a 370% gain. A $100,000 Bitcoin, that's about 500% gain. And a $120,000 Bitcoin, which is about a 600% gain. And I have no other plans, honestly, to buy or sell Bitcoin right now. I'm 80% out of my spot. Typically what I do is that remaining percent, it goes into my Forever HODL account. All right. And so now I'm only planning to buy Bitcoin, guys, if we enter into a bear market and we're seeing Bitcoin below $75,000. Jason, it'll never happen. We'll never see Bitcoin below 75. Okay, then I won't buy Bitcoin. Or I'll have to make a new plan. Or I'll just trade inverse perpetual to stack my Bitcoin slowly. All right, that's another thing you can do. You can trade inverse perpetual contracts to stack your Bitcoin slow. All right, so, you know, I just got to be real with y'all. Bull markets are for selling. They're not for buying. Bull markets are for selling. Bear markets are for buying. It's very difficult to get into that mentality because it is scary to buy when it's, you know, when I'm buying under $20,000, I know I'm not buying the top, but I didn't know the bottom was in. I thought we could dip down to 10K maybe or worse. So, you know, it's scary to buy when things are very bearish, and it's scary to sell when things are very bullish because you get greedy and you're like, am I really going to sell 60K right now? Yeah. Am I really going to sell 80K? Yeah, you got to do it. It sucks, but you got to do it. If you actually want to make money, and everyone has a different investment strategy too, like that's the thing. Like some people are literally in crypto just to hold it forever and post on Twitter, I'll just hodl, diamond hands, baby, hodl forever. Cool, that's great. May God bless your investment. All right, but I mean, I'm here for a little bit of everything, right? I'm here to hodl. I'm here to buy and sell into fiat so I can get stuff. Like, guys, I mean, like, you know, so I can get stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, life, it's not about how big the number is on the screen. All right? It's about, can you make a positive impact in your family, your community, in the world? Can you use the resources for good? Right? And the only way you can do that right now is by selling into fiat and getting stuff. You know, tangible things. So, you know, man, I'm off on a tangent here. HODL XRP, what did I do with the Bitcoin I sold? I'll be honest with you. I spent it all on chocolate. All on chocolate bars. Hershey's dark chocolate bars with almonds. I have stacks of Hershey's chocolate bars with almonds, okay? I'm a little embarrassed to admit it, but it was such a big order, I actually had to order it from Hershey themselves. They had to send a special shipment out here. And you know what else really sucks is when they delivered pallets of these chocolate bars, it was on a really hot summer day, and they all melted. I had pools of dark chocolate with almonds. I had to wait until it got cold one night, and then I had to take a pickaxe, and I had to chop these deep chunks of chocolate. Okay? And then I realized, how am I going to keep this stuff anyway? There's no wrapper anymore. There's all foil and paper stuck to it. The almonds are everywhere. I was hoping maybe the almonds would like sprout and start to grow into almond trees.
But turns out they were roasted almonds, so they weren't activated seeds anymore. And yeah, it's all gone. All the Bitcoin I sold, it's gone. It's out there melted on the street. Sheesh. Oh my goodness. My goodness. All right, so back to the Bitcoin chart, because I'm starting to get a little bit depressed about all this. We need to reclaim this area here, all right? First, we need to reclaim 110. 110, super key. All right, New York's about to open in half an hour. Let's pull open some order flow charts here. And let's take a look at what's been happening here. We're going to go to Market Monkey. Market Monkey, my new order flow system. Link in the description if you want Market Monkey, all right? Let's see, how's the order flow been doing here? As we're getting ready for New York to open. Do I go door to door selling chocolate? I do. Just like SpongeBob and Patrick, for sure. Okay, so this is our order flow chart. Interesting. So, you know, we've actually, as we're making highs here, we are seeing shorts opening up. So that is actually kind of a little bit bullish. We're seeing an increase of open interest. We're seeing a lot of shorts opening up. We are setting ourselves up for a bullish CVD divergence. All right, let's go ahead and pull a fib here. That's one of the things I like about Market Monkey. You can pull a fib. Pull a fib from the low to the high. Okay, so right around 108.7, we have our golden pocket. 108.1 to 108.7. We have ourselves a golden pocket. So we're going to just put this on the chart here. We got ourselves a little bit of a box. Let's go ahead and change our box color here to a little bit of a green hue. Yeah, so we've got ourselves here, whoa. We've got ourselves here a box right down here where what we want to see there is a bullish CVD divergence, okay? So we want to see, can I draw? Well, I could use a trend line. We want to see this continuing to get lower here. We want this to actually come lower than what it was back down here. And we want to see this open interest continuing to get higher here like it is. And if we actually see that as we come down into this box here, basically grabbing this low that we made at about 45 o'clock, which really is around midnight, that could actually give us a nice little bounce. That could give us a nice little bounce here. All right, let's go back to our chart. Let's kind of chart this out a little bit, okay? Let's go back to our chart, chart this out a little bit. A bullish scenario could be this. All right, we have ourselves a sideways range here. All right, we have ourselves our fib pull from the low to the high. And we've got our golden pocket, we've got our 786 en español. And so we have ourselves the box of confluence right here where potentially, because we're seeing a lot of shorts opening, we could see shorts getting trapped here again along this trend line, right? Make another higher low here with seeing bullish absorption happening. And that could give us the move up that we need when New York opens. Let's go down to our 24-minute market, Cipher B. Okay, let's go down to our 12-minute market, Cipher B. Okay, what would make this a great trade would be having that bullish CVD. Also, we're printing a bottom on our 12-minute here. So if we can get a little bit of a move up and then a little bit of a move down, and we get ourselves a nice little uneven butt cheek pattern going on. Dolores coming out the diner with our coffee. Hey, Jason, how you doing today, hon? Jason, you're looking kind of skinny here. You're looking skinny, especially in the upper chest, the shoulders, the upper back, and the biceps. Pretty much every single muscle group you care most about. You're looking really skinny, Jason. Can I get you some pancakes? Sheesh, Dolores, you know, I've been really trying to hit the gym. I've been trying to get those meals in, you know? You really think I look skinny? Oh yeah, hon. You lost weight for sure. But Dolores, I'm trying to bulk. Like, don't you think maybe what do you know? Don't I look a little bit jacked? No, you look skin and bones, hon. Skin and bones. Let me get you some pancakes, some eggs here. I'll give you some syrup, so you can put some carbs, some simple carbs on top of your simple carbs. You know, it's all about spiking that insulin. But Dolores, I don't really want to spike my insulin. Like, you know, I don't want to end up as a type 2 diabetic. Come on, Jason, what's more important here? Big muscles or health? You're right, Dolores. Bring on the syrup. All right. Now, here we go. Let's see what happens here. We got the shorts opening up. All right. We're coming on down to the bottom of the range. And this would be my first place to look for a bounce. And if we don't hold that, I would actually be looking for another low, potentially even taking out the low from yesterday, because yesterday's low, remember, this did happen on a U.S. bank holiday. And, you know, as an American, I'm completely Americentric with all my thinking. So the only thing that really matters is whether or not the New York Stock Exchange is open, you know? So, yeah, that's what I'd be looking for right now, all right? Let's see what's going to happen here. Is Market Monkey free? It's not free, all right? It does cost a little money. She's from Boston. She does sound a little bit Bostonian, doesn't she? Shout out to Nick. Can I get you some coffee? Yeah. Yeah, can I get you some coffee, Jason? All right. Let's see. Cash is trash, Jason. Yeah, all right, cash is trash, whatever. All right, these little mantras people come up with, cash is trash. All right, let's put back on our losing trade here. We're bleeding thousands of dollars right now, right? We're bleeding thousands of dollars. You know, these little mantras, cash is trash and all this. Look, it all depends on perspective, right? It really does all depend on perspective. All right, why are you in cash? Are you in cash because you're holding it? Like, are you in cash because you're holding cash, hoping that somehow you're going to preserve your purchasing power for generations? Or are you in cash so you can get some stuff? All right, here's what's true. In order to actually build infrastructure, like for me, I'm a homesteader. I raise animals, I grow food. All right, it's really hard for me to, let's say, build a barn with Bitcoin. I don't really know people out there that are going to take Bitcoin in order to give me the materials I need to build a barn. All right, so I have to go into cash. All right, but here's the thing: I'm not staying in cash, and for me, a barn is more valuable than Bitcoin. A place where I can house livestock, which will produce milk and meat for me off my own land, which grows grass, thanks to God's creation, so that they can eat and survive. That's more valuable to me than Bitcoin. So yeah, I'd rather go into trash to get some treasure. All right, you go into trash to get some treasure. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we got to mark out our boxes. Bitcoin's dumping. We're looking for the price to hold this key zone right here. All right, this is the box of mystery and wonder. The box of mystery and wonder. Now, if I'm looking to preserve my purchasing power, then I go into Bitcoin, right? See, people get stuck. You know, it's honestly a really big problem in, like, at least American society. People get stuck in, like, these little, like, one-sentence mantra, like, mindsets of, like, these short little snippets. Like, it's like a TikTok video worth of, like, information. And they live by these little snippets. Cash is trash. Or hodl. You know, all these kinds of things. Like, you have to be a little bit more nuanced in your thinking. You have to be able to hold multiple viewpoints at the same time that don't contradict completely. There's some overlap in them. Right? Like, for example, me selling Bitcoin and me hodling Bitcoin, they seem contradictory, but there is some overlap, right? Okay, we're taking this low here. Let's see what happens. Man, look at this dump. We're going to be taking a look at the order flow here. We're potentially going to be losing $250,000 live. All right, let's see what happens. We're not really going to lose it. But it's more sensational if I say that. So, you know, YouTube's all about sensationalism. The dopamine trap. How much dopamine can we spike with our dang thumbnails and titles? All right, so let's see. First, if we reclaim 108,834, that's our first sign of strength here. If not, we look to come down into our box of mystery and wonder to hold our box. If we don't hold our box of mystery and wonder, then we look for lower. And of course, yeah, we're just going to watch and wait and see what happens here. Oh my goodness. let's pop on the short trade so we don't feel too bad about our long trade. The short trade that we gave in the Casper Crew VIP Discord back at the end of August. All right. Let's see what happens here. Major shout to everybody in chat right now. A mental hedge. Yeah, like a mental hedge, but also you have to have your goals clearly defined, right? Like if I want to make money on Bitcoin swings and I want to hold Bitcoin long term, then what do? Well, you hold some Bitcoin long term and you sell some Bitcoin, right? But if I had no reason to sell, if I had no goals, then I wouldn't sell, right? That's the thing. But it's very important to have goals. It's very important to have goals when it comes to your investing. Because if you don't have a clearly defined goal and plan, you're literally just going to watch a number go up and down for your whole life. You know? You're going to watch a number go up and down for your whole life. So, that's not what we want to do here, right? I mean, what if all of a sudden tomorrow you're on your deathbed, God forbid, and now you have all this Bitcoin, right? I mean, but you didn't get to actually positively benefit anybody in your life, your children, your wife, your family. You didn't get to enjoy the fruit of your investment at all. Now it's just somebody else is going to enjoy. I guess if that's your thing, then that's fine. All right, we're in our box of mystery and wonder. We're into the golden pocket. Let's see what happens here. Let's check out order flow quick. Okay, so it's a decrease of open interest here, but overall we do have a bullish CBD divergence. The sad thing about this bullish CBD divergence is that it's not corroborated by a market cipher divergence, but nonetheless we do have higher CBD and more shorts opening up right here in this box of mystery and wonder than we had down here. Okay, so let's see what happens. I'm curious. I'm legitimately curious. Now, unfortunately, I was hoping this would happen after New York has opened. So the fact it's happening before New York opened really does make me concerned here. All right, really does make me concerned here. Everybody's go a house and land. I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, that is the goal. Am I still holding my Doge? Yeah, I'm still holding all my altcoins, guys. All right. Too much altcoins on it. Bitcoin, big mistake. I agree. I agree. I love Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been my main hodl since 2016, baby. All right. Bitcoin's been the main thing since 2016. Okay. We're bleeding money, guys. We're down about $4,000 in the course of a stream. All right, man, down about $4,000. Now remember, speaking of being down money, we are doing a $500 giveaway. All you need to do is sign up to BLOFIN using my link in the pinned chat and description. Sign up to BLOFIN, 10% cash back, $1,000 future bonus, prizes. I mean, really, you could have a chair and a camera. I mean, think of all the selfies you could take while you're sitting. But they are going to be giving a getting a little bit of a bounce. They're going to be doing a $500 giveaway today. $100 to 5 people who sign up using my link. You don't need to deposit a dang thing. All right. Also, if you want to trade with really low fees, check out KCEX. Such low fees. You can market in, market out without having to pay high fees. You could actually scalp and be profitable on the low time frames. Okay, so we're getting a little bit of a bounce here from our box of mystery and wonder. All right, let's go to our 1 minute here. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Man, I was hoping that this would happen after New York Open. We got to give a major shout out to Robert Harold. Where should I sell my 15,000 XRP coins? On an exchange, probably. But I can't answer that for you, man. You have to have your plan. Like, I cannot answer that. I don't hold any XRP. So, I don't know. When did you get it? Like, there are so many questions that I need to know. When did you buy your XRP? What price? How much money are you up right now? What's your goal? What's your investment goal? What's your plan? Like, how much money are you trying to make? Does it make sense for you to take partial profit right now and lock in a good profit and then hold the rest? Like, I cannot answer the question. You know, I don't hold XRP, so I don't have an emotional number like I do for ETH, which is 5,500 and 8,500. Oh no, look at this. We tried to bounce from the white box, but now big dirty perp coming down. Big dirty perp coming on down. Big dirty perp trying to give you the herp. We need big juicy blue to start coming through. Come on, big juicy blue. Guys, quit shilling WikiCat, alright? I'm gonna ban you. Alright? Any more WikiCat shillers, I'm ban you. Okay? Like, I don't want any coin shillers in here, right? All right, let's see. S&P is getting demolished. Let's check it out. Check out the ES over here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, guys. This is just the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. Look at the stock market right now. Pre-market open here. Oh! Look at that 4-hour candle. Oh my goodness. You know, I would say this. We do have a nice zone of liquidity right down here on the S&P. Let's go ahead and pull this volume. Let's go ahead and pull our Fibonacci. Aha! Oh, yeah! Aha! Aha! You know, wow. Yeah, so we've got a nice zone of support down here on the S&P. So let's see what happens. All right, Bitcoin taking a dump. Oof, we're in our zone, our white box of wonder and mystery. Oh, we're starting to get a little bit of a bounce from the white box of mystery and wonder, guys. Look at this. Look at Bitcoin coming out. Oh, look at the big juicy blue coming on in, baby. White box of mystery and wonder. Whew, here we go, baby. Here we go. GPs don't work on the S&P. Are you nuts? Sign and Jonah, I took a massive trade on the S&P 500. Traded all the way up to new all-time high based on a golden pocket, man. Big red day upcoming. Come on, look, guys. Look. New York hasn't opened yet. All right? Come on. What's the market maker gonna do? Make your move. Show your hands, ladies and gentlemen. Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen. New York hasn't even opened yet. You're talking about a red day of dump. We don't know what market maker's gonna do. All right, come on. Remember, New York loves to fake everybody out. So if New York opens and we start dumping, my first instinct is, where's the long? All right? Where's the long? Come on. This zone is the only saving grace for September. 105 WEEX, then rocket. Yes, this Scottish crypto. This is also one of my hopes here. If we do make a lower low, yeah, wick down to around 105, maybe 104.9, and then rocket. Yeah, I think that would be an excellent way to trap everybody into feeling bearish. Okay, come down. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Ah! And then it's just bam. All right. What a beautiful trumpet bugle pattern that would be. All right. It's like in band camp when we used to wake up early in the morning to the bugle. And you didn't sleep all night, especially as a freshman, because the seniors were trying to prank you. Put toothpaste on your dang pillow. Tickle your face with a feather. Put shaving cream on your hands so you put it all over your face. Dip your hands in some hot water so you piss the bed. Sheesh, man. No wonder I hated marching bands so much. Alright, here we go. A white box of mystery and wonder. But we already feel bearish, Mr. K. Yeah, we feel bearish, but you don't feel bearish enough, Mr. K. Let's see what happens here. Come on, Bitcoin. Come on. What's the market maker gonna do? We don't know. don't know. But there is half an hour until New York opens up. Willing to take a chance here with a tight stop? I'm willing to take a chance here with a loose stop, honestly. I've got a loose stop, baby. I've got a loose stop. Crazy Waffles 5150 says all hope is over. Come on, I don't think all hope is over. The pump song. It's not time for a pump song yet, guys. Pre-New York Open. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh no. Oh. Oh no. Come on. Come on, big juicy blue. Let's check out the market order flow here. Let's go down to our 1 minute and see if we can see anything good here. Just a decrease of OI. You know, we're not really seeing shorts opening up here, which is a bit of a sad case. But in general, we have had a lot of shorts open up along this way down. So if we start to bounce, could initiate a giant squeeze. Could initiate a giant squeeze, all right? Up to at least the VWAP. Yeah. Actually, no. We could initiate a squeeze all the way back up towards around 110.7. All right. So come on, baby. Big juicy blue. Honestly, here would be my ideal scenario would be a little bit of a bounce from here and then a big dump when New York opens to get into the real long. Like a little bit of a bounce from here, just enough to maybe trap in some early longs and then boom! And then get the real bounce. That would set us up for some nice divergences. You know what I'm saying? The house of cards is collapsing. Oh my goodness. We need the pump song? I don't know, man. I'm not really feeling the pump song right now. Look, I have to be feeling it. I have to be feeling the pump song right now. We need euphoria. If we can reclaim this green line, I will sing the pump song. All right, if we can reclaim the green line, I will sing the pump song. But until we reclaim that green line, man, I am not. Let's see what we got going on here. Oh! Alright, well, I dropped my phone. That's always a bearish sign. Do I think the top is in? It could be, but I need more confirmation. Right now, I'm going to say no. Rewrite the verse for dump instead of pump. You know what? We'll have Sam Price sing the pump song.
We're gonna pump, no we're gonna dump. We're gonna pump, no we're gonna dump. We're gonna pump, no we're gonna dump. We're gonna pump.
It's working. It's already working, man. He says, homie, just hit the green button, baby. Let's see. Good excuse to stop the treadmill. Man, I don't want to stop the treadmill today, guys. All right. I love the treadmill. I love me, the treadmill. Come on, Bitcoin. We're trying to reclaim this level. All right, let's see what happens. All right, here's what we're going to do. While we're waiting, shout out to Crypto Lifer, guys. Make sure to go subscribe to Sam Price, Crypto Lifer, his YouTube channel. Go check him out, all right? If you haven't. He just did 100,000 subs. Let's get him up to 200,000 subs. While we're waiting for Bitcoin to reclaim the level, all right, which it looks like we're gonna. Man, never trust a pre-New York Open pump. I think this is setting us up very nicely for something like this. New York opens, boom, bam, boom, boom, bam, boom. The old boom, bam, boom, boom, bam, ba-dam, ba-dam, boom, ba-ding, boom, 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 bam, bam, ba-dam, boom, bam, bam, boom. You know what we need right now, guys? We need a giveaway, a $500 giveaway. All right, here's how you enter the giveaway. As it says in the pinned comment, right here, it says sign up to BLOFIN for a chance to win $100 this stream with the link. If you sign up to BLOFIN, you signed up to BLOFIN, you have a chance to win $100. We're giving away $500. 5 people will get $100. All right. All you have to do is sign up to BLOFIN. We are going to be... the way you enter is this. All right. I want you to spam my YouTube chat with your user ID from BLOFIN. All right. Spam the YouTube chat with the user ID from BLOFIN. All right. Like this guy. All right. Henry Gamer. He knows what to do. All right. Spam the YouTube chat with your user ID like Crypto Incognito has done. All right. Spam the YouTube chat with your user ID. All right. And I'm going to count down from 10. And the first 10 people who have posted their ID win $100. All right. You guys ready? Let's do it. All right. Here we go. You guys ready? Here we go. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So we have ourselves our winner. Crap. Hang on. It's really hard to use this computer. Oh. All right. We're going to have to do another countdown. All right. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Okay, so we have preparing for so Jazz Lover is our first winner. Jazz Lover is our first winner. So let's see. Jazz Lover. We gotta find Jazz Lover now. Crap. Oh man, I hate when this happens. All right, so Jazz Lover is definitely a winner. All right, here we go. Jazz Lover. And then Tom Forte, JTube F, Lose Quinn, Boss Game. 1, 2, 3. All right, yeah, so these are our winners. Jazz Lover, Tom Forte, JTube F, Luzwigen, and Boz Gay Man. All right, I don't mean to say Boz Gay Man. I mean Bozgamain. There you go. Bozgamain. All right. All right, I'm going to go ahead. Congratulations to our winners. All right, I'm going to send that over to BLOFIN. You guys each win. Here we go, baby. We're pumping. Each win $100. All right, now that we've done it, congratulations to our winners. We're going to get that over to you guys. All right. Shout out to Memory Man in the chat. God bless you, Memory Man. All right, we are pumping, baby. We are back up. We were down almost, you know, we started the stream. I was up $6,600. We came all the way down to $2,500. Now we're up to almost $4,000 again. This is Chop Chop City, baby. But I think this is setting us up for a good potential New York Open, honestly. You know? I think setting us up for a good potential New York Open. All right, I'm going to send these over to BLOFIN right now. All right. Congratulations to our winners, by the way. And remember, guys, if you like the stream, every single day there's a chance for a $1,000 giveaway. We do it every day. So, I don't know why you wouldn't want to like the stream. I understand that it can be tough to hit the like button. You know, I always hit the like button. I never used to hit the like button until I became a YouTuber. I'll be honest with you. It used to piss me off that people would say like the video. But now I understand. I understand. You know? All right, just sent those over to BLOFIN now. All right, shout out to our winner. Shout out to JTubeEF. Shout out to Luz Widgen in the chat. Shout out to Boss Jermaine. All right, Boss Jermaine. Alrighty, well, congratulations, guys. Man, look, this is looking squeezable. This is looking quite squeezable, I have to be honest with you. This is looking squeezable, man. So, let's see what happens upon New York Open here. This is looking quite squeezable. And honestly, if we squeeze here, we do need to be aware, honestly, of basically just making a higher high and then rejecting. All right, so let's go ahead and go to our 15-minute chart here. I think if we just pull from the last high to low, we've got ourselves, yeah, we've got ourselves the golden pocket right around here. So, man, there is so much stuff, guys, to be aware of right now. Chop City, look, unless you are, make sure if you're taking a trade, you got yourself a dang plan, all right? We're bouncing from the white box of mystery and wonder. We have held our trade. We've kept our convictions. We're long, all right? Shout out to Theory Grolimund. Shout out to you. Thank you so much for the super chat. May the Lord bless you in Jesus' name. Shout out to OG Blockchain. He says, much love in Yeshua's name. May God bless you. What exchange put bullish under long and bearish under short? This is KCEX. KCEX, lowest fees in the game. Lowest fees in the game. Yeah, shout out to KCEX. Look, guys, I have to be honest. I love BLOFIN. I like WEEX. But KCEX reminds me of MEXC in 2023. Where the fees are so low. I have had no problem on KCEX filling orders up to like $1.4 million with no issues, no slippage. All right. I've had an issue with slippage once on KCEX. It was a stop loss order. And they did wreck me on that stop loss, but it happened once. All right. Other than that, it's just such a joy to use the exchange. Orders are filled easily. When you're marketing into a trade, you're not going to see what you see on other exchanges where you mark it in and like you push buy right here, but then by the time you're in, it's like up here. None of that crap. All right. They have deep liquidity somehow. Not sure how. Don't care. They have low fees. Not sure how. Don't care. For now, it reminds me of MEXC in 2023. And if I'm not mistaken, the team behind MEXC is also behind this exchange. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I've heard that rumor. So I'm going to run with it, man. That's how rumors get started. All right. What's the win rate on a strategy based on divergences? I have no idea. I have no idea. Okay. Shout out to Valerie who says, God bless you for being so generous. Well, I wasn't very generous today, Valerie. That was not my money. That was BLOFIN's money. All right. But when we do the $1,000 giveaways, that actually is my money. Shout out to Jad Georges. I've opened an ETH long from 4280. Thoughts? A long on ETH from 4280. Thoughts? Well, you're in a little bit of profit. I mean, look, it's not a bad trade. We're bounced from the golden pocket here. I'd say like an invalidation would have to be under like 4,200. I don't know, man. Just all I can say is stick to your risk management. That's all I can really say. I don't know. It could work out. It so far is working out pretty good for you. Here's my main concern. I don't like taking trades right before New York opens because New York Open loves to do the fake out. Like, that's what they love to do. They love to trap everybody in a certain direction and then reverse it. So, the fact that we're getting a little bit of a pump and bouncing from support, half an hour, 45 minutes before New York Open, right? Makes me think New York Open could simply just fake us out, then dump us more. So as long as you're using good risk management, if you're looking at it as a scalp trade with a good TP1, you know, then great. But I don't know, if you're looking at this as a potential swing trade to new all-time highs, it could work out. It could. But, you know. Would I be a vegetarian for $1 billion for life? Yeah, I'd be a vegetarian for life. Absolutely. For $1 billion? Yeah, why not? I'd be a vegetarian. You know, I am kind of a vegetarian already. I mean, yeah, I eat beef and chicken, fish. But here's the thing. I would give up beef and chicken and fish because primarily I get my protein from dairy and eggs, honestly. Primarily, I get my protein from dairy and eggs. But if someone were to look at my average meal, they might even think I was a vegetarian. Because when you look at a plate of food that I eat, I mean, tons of plants on the plate. I mean, I eat so many vegetables, so many roots and fruits, you know? In fact, I'm not even kidding you. I remember one time me and my wife went to the dang grocery store, and as we're ringing up, this is a long time ago actually. This is before we lived in our homestead, but the funny thing is we get to the cashier and she says, "Are you guys vegetarians?" Because we had a lot of fruits and vegetables. You know, it's kind of weird. You go to the store, you look behind you. It's pretty sad to see the crap that people buy and eat. It's really sad. You see like a cart full of like processed junk food, cereal, and like frozen dinners, and like even the food that's kind of healthy is like loaded with a whole bunch of crap. Man. It's weird. We're coming over here with a whole bunch of like dried beans and dried lentils and fresh vegetables and fruits. She didn't see the eggs in the cart, right? That was before we had chickens. I haven't bought eggs in years, man. I know you guys don't see the ETH chart. It's because I have my secret Casper crew levels on it. Eating eggs isn't vegetarian? Yeah, it is, man. It's just not vegan. You could be a vegetarian and not be a vegan, alright? Too much oxalate with vegetables, says Vita K. Yeah. I don't believe in that stuff, man. I don't believe in oxalates. I'm just kidding. I believe in oxalates. But I don't think they're a big deal unless you're kind of already sick. And probably the only way you have yourself in a situation where vegetables are bad for you is if you've been living a very unhealthy lifestyle already. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is pretty crazy to me. I have to be honest, alright? The whole carnivore movement, to me, beware of extremes. That's all I can say. Just beware of extremes. The carnivore movement trying to make it seem like people are sick because they're eating oxalates. Because they're eating too many vegetables. How many people you know who have died from vegetable overdose? I bet you if everyone started eating more oxalates and less processed crap, everyone would be super healthy, right? But, nah. It's just like I was talking about before. These little, like, snippet little mantras. Like, cash is trash. Or hodl. Or oxalates. You know? Everything's more nuanced than that, guys. Everything's more nuanced than that. You know, people have been eating vegetables forever. You know? Tino versus Casper, same stream. Man, me and Tino got to do a collaboration. How much do I risk per trade? I don't risk more than my entire net worth per trade. Never more than that, but always less. Always less. Never more than my whole net worth, but always less. You know. Hidden bull days on the 12. Let's go, baby. Yeah, some veggies can cause inflammatory response on certain people. Yeah, it's like diet is super individual. It's super individual. There's like, don't fall into an extreme camp. Don't fall into a one size fits all with your investing, with anything, man. I mean, things are always much more nuanced than people like to make them out to be, especially in our day, especially in the West right now, where everything is so polarized, and they create these dichotomies for every little thing. You have to like pick a one binary side. It's either you have to pick this extreme or this extreme, right? That's how everything is like set up nowadays. It's so crazy. That's how they control people's minds. They divide people up into extremes. Instead, people aren't able to like think with nuance anymore and say, you know, maybe the truth is in the middle somewhere. And also, especially when it comes to diet, you got to experiment on yourself. You know, I don't eat the same way I ate 10 years ago. I don't eat the same way I ate 2 years ago. Yes, I'm waiting for New York Open to give us a little bit of a dump here, but let's see what happens. Popcorn. I love popcorn, Samuel. Speaking of popcorn, as we're getting into diet, you know. But, too much glyphosate. Well, if you grow your own food, real John Doe. But here's the thing: even if let's say you're a carnivore, all right. If you're buying your meat from a store, even if it says 100% grass-fed, you do not know. And you do not even know if that meat came from the country you think it came from. Because there's so many loopholes when it comes to the food industry, that unless you're actually producing the food yourself, or you know the people who are producing it, it's probably not as clean as you think, honestly. So you're getting your grass-fed beef, says 100% grass-fed product of the United States. That might not be true, right? That might not be true. And even if it is true, who knows what's in the grass? Who knows? You know, people get greedy and they put the health on the line, health of people and animals on the line for the sake of a profit. It's sad, but it's true. So unless you know where that food is coming from, man. So I'm a big fan of the local farm. What kind of dairy and how do I like my eggs? Well, I eat a lot of raw cheese. I drink a lot of raw milk, and I eat a lot of yogurt. I like yogurt a lot. And I eat cottage cheese, raw cottage cheese. Love that as well. And eggs, I mean, I like them hard boiled, man. They're so easy, you know. But I also, I'll fry them up in a little bit of ghee, you know, but I prefer them hard-boiled. Do I think the cycle top is in? I'm not sure. I'm going to lean towards no for now. You know? Did I see Trump post on Truth Social with the planet behind him? What do I think about it? I didn't see it, name. I have no thoughts about it, alright? But, I'm sure I could come up with some thoughts. Alright? Let me check this out. I don't see it here. I'm on his Truth Social. It looks like I have a whole bunch of... Maybe I'm not on the right channel here. I don't think I am. I know you guys can't see. Hang on. I don't know. I don't know. I can't find it. Must have been old, right? I don't pay attention to social media, man. Besides my own YouTube channel. Alright, so you know what's cool, though, is that Bitcoin is bouncing from the white box of mystery and wonder. That is pretty cool. White box of mystery and wonder. Goat milk is great. It's good for you. That's for sure. 100% of people that drink water die. What do they die? T-shirts? They make tie-dye T-shirts, Bufflink? What do they die? Their hair? Bufflink says 100% of people that drink water die, but we don't know what they're dying here. That is true, though. If you're talking about death, the other die, D-I-E, then yeah. Right, I know. I know. You're right, I did say we'd do the pump song, C7. Ah, man. Tino's bald. Yeah, I saw that, man. I saw that. I saw Tino's bald. Look at this. We're bouncing from our box of mystery and wonder. Goat milk is good for a baby goat. Yeah, I mean, I think it's good for people too, man. I know. I think you don't do dairy or meat or eggs, right? I think you're just pure plant, right? I don't know. I feel good when I'm on dairy. I feel good when I'm on dairy. I don't get any kind of symptom from it. I don't get any kind of bloating or gas or anything like that. Definitely makes me feel strong. Gotta be honest. Will we dump our coin on new aliens? I'm waiting. What do you mean? Like the alien disclosure that's coming? The fake alien disclosure that's coming soon? Yeah, I wonder what will happen in the markets when the fake alien disclosure happens. You know, what do you guys think? When the fake alien disclosure happens... Ha! Teen needs to vector hair recovery. That's funny. He's wearing a wig on his new thumbnail. That is funny. What do you guys think? Is the market going to dump on the fake alien disclosure announcement? How do you think that's going to go down? Is there going to be some kind of attack? Some kind of attack that they blame on aliens? Some kind of Project Bluebeam thing that they... It's going to have to be more than just something people see. There's going to have to be some kind of actual, like, attack or some kind of thing. You know? Dump then pump, says Memory Man. I agree. Is 7 minutes to New York open? So, what do I think about prop firm funding challenges? I think if you know how to trade, it's a great way. Did they not already disclose aliens many times? They haven't really disclosed aliens. They've just been preparing us for the disclosure since the War of Worlds radio broadcast back in the day, in like the 40s or whatever. And teaching us exactly what they should look like and what they do look like, and what to expect when they come through the movies and the media and the books and the TV shows and the cartoons and all the subtle brainwashing techniques. And they've talked, of course, you know, we've had the Pentagon people now officially coming out and saying UFOs are real and blah, blah, blah. But, so they're just preparing us to accept whatever they tell us. When I say fake alien disclosure, I mean, there's going to be something that's, like, undeniable. Because up to this point, you know, what they've done is, throughout the years, they've changed the public view of there's probably not aliens to there's most certainly, almost definitely aliens here. And so now that everyone's worldview lines up, they can now jab us with the old false flag alien attack or invasion and everyone's just going to accept it, just like they accepted everything else, you know? Aliens are under us, not over us. Yeah, I would be down with that, Thomas G. Who knows for sure? What do I think about Arbitrum? I mean, I think it's a strong project, super fast. You know, super cheap network, super fast. I think it's good. I think it's good. Alright, anyone shilling WikiCat coin gets banned, alright? Come on, guys. You know, it's funny because there are so many, like, altcoin, like, little shills, like, in the comments. Yeah, the Archons or the aliens. Yeah, I agree, Memory Man. Yeah, the rulers that it talks about, that Paul talks about in Ephesians 6 are the aliens. Yeah, the rulers, the Archons. In high places, demonic forces, for sure. For sure. That's what I believe. 100%. I think all alien phenomena is demonic in nature. That's my view. Parit says, I don't think my message is showing up in chat. I think it is. It's Tino's birthday. Happy birthday to Tino. Why is Trump putting soldiers in cities? Well, here's the thing. I mean, what do I know? I'm just a YouTube crypto guy. But in my opinion, I think, honestly, what's happened is the cities have become uncontrollable. And I honestly, I can't see any other solution to the problem. But here's the underlying issue is this. The problem was created by design. And so now the solution is being rolled out, and Trump lovers say, yeah, this is what we want, law and order. But the reason why Trump is doing this is so that the next administration that's more openly globalist and wants to move us into a more police state where every aspect of our lives are controlled, now have the legal grounds to patrol citizens with military force, right? So it's just, the reason why he's doing it is for two reasons. Number one, to garner support short term. Number two, to implement extreme controls long term. But he'll be out of office by then, so it won't be able to be blamed on him unless you're actually paying attention. That's why I think he's doing that. Yeah, the next step of totalitarianism. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, it's just the machine, right? Part of the machine. Trump is part of the machine. If you don't think Trump is part of the machine, I think you're mistaken. You know? Do I plan to leave the USA? I don't know. You know, I go back and forth on it. If I didn't have things holding me here, like family and relationships and networks of friends, and then yeah, I would leave, right? But I have a lot to lose in leaving, and so my current view is I'm just gonna trust God and stay where I am, and you know, just take it one day at a time, right? But yeah, I would like to leave. I would like to go down to South America or Central America, where I feel like, you know, the infrastructure for like a dystopian police state is not quite ready down there yet. I feel like, you know, of all places, there's more time down there than here, even though it's coming everywhere. But yeah, for now I'm just chilling, man. You know. Can't be worse in the UK. Well, you know, I've never been to the UK, so I don't know for certain. But the things I've heard, which again, I cannot confirm, make it seem like, yeah, it's not as bad as the UK. But also, I'm pretty sure, like, America is like 30 years behind Europe as far as our immorality and bondage. You know, about 30 years behind Europe. The rejection of, well, let's be blunt. The rejection of God happened in Europe before it happened in America. So as far as the society heading into bondage, Europe's like maybe 3 decades ahead of the United States. But New York is officially opened right now. So here we are. Do I watch Peter Santello? I've never heard of him, to be honest. Why are people fleeing South America to the US? Well, people are fleeing South America to the US because, for them, it's better in the US than in South America. But for me, it would be better in South America than in the US, right? You know, if you don't have any money in South America, then you want to come to the US to make money here so you can bring it back to your family. You know what I'm saying? So, and plus the government over here will help you out and protect you, right? Well, maybe not Trump, but a lot of cities, a lot of states, and historically, you can come over here and flee and get a lot of benefits here. You know, free, lots of stuff, and you can work your job and you can make a lot of money to bring back to your family, right? But if you already have money, then going down South America, I mean, man, it can really get you out of the rat race, for sure. And the control grid, like I said, they're not ready down there to implement such tough controls. And honestly, people are still more human down there, I feel. People are still more human. Where am I from? What city? Anarchy for the win. I wish anarchy could work, but the truth is anarchy could never work. Simply because the condition of sinful man, right? It's evil. Humanity is evil, like, therefore, government is a necessary evil. The problem is, because humanity is evil, all governments inevitably end up corrupt. And if we had a system, this hypothetical utopian anarchy system where we just had free markets and everybody providing value, and eventually you'd have a group of scumbags that try and ruin it for everybody else. And then you'd have war, and you'd have pretty much everything we have today with the governments. But look, it just is the condition of humanity. That's why we need a savior. That's why we need a redeemer. That's why we need Jesus. That's the only way out of the predicament, is to be born again by the Spirit of God. Yeah, the human condition is a straight up tragedy. I agree with that. True, but the level of corruption and insecurity in South America is pretty wild. Kidnappings, robberies. Yeah, that stuff definitely never happens in the United States. Especially not in some of these cities that we have. Never happens here in the United States. Look, everywhere you go, there's good areas and bad areas, right? That's true everywhere you go, all right? I have a lot of friends that live in South America, Central America. And like everywhere else, it depends on where you go. Boyan sent out a tweet on X. Yeah, Jesus is the answer. Shout out to Valerie. That's 100% true. Am I familiar with John Nelson Darby? Yeah, of course. Everyone's familiar with John Nelson Darby. Let's see. Alright, New York is open here. Let's see. What did Boyan tweet? Oh. Shout out to Boyan. Shout out to Sam Price. Shout out to Starlink. Trying to get me to get Starlink. I probably should. I've been having some internet issues lately. Alright, look, the white box of Mystery and Wonder is holding for us, guys. Alright, we'll take a look at the order flow. Okay. Wow. Look at that. Let's go to the 5-minute. So far, this has pretty much just been a little bit of a squeeze, man. A little bit of a short squeeze, and I think we could keep squeezing here. We're above VWAP. Holding above VWAP is bullish. Holding above VWAP is bullish. Here we go, baby. Chatty C says, I've been to a lot of states and everyone seems to hate their hometown. Yeah, isn't that true? Isn't that true? Same with me. Alright, well, we are getting a bounce. Guys, the next area to be aware of, honestly, is going to be a resistance from around here. So if New York gives us a pump, which it definitely is, 6 minutes into New York Open, this is going to be our area where we look for a rejection. Let's go ahead and pull our local fib from low to high, because also, wow, yeah. So it looks like, honestly, we could come up into this white box of Mystery and Wonder. We reclaim the white box of Mystery and Wonder. We're going to go up to around $114,000, $115,000. Let's check out Market Cipher here. You know, we are being set up for some pretty bearish divergences. It looks like we're going to probably get a little bit of a rejection for sure from here. Alright. We're probably going to get a bit of a rejection from here, just the way we're going up so fast on a New York Open. If we take out that high, we're most likely going to get a bit of a rejection from there. Are we at the 786 now? We're above that 786. Let's pull this little volume profile. We're either going to reject from the high volume node of this range here. Yeah, okay. Oh, wow, okay. So, yeah, we're rejected from the value area highs of this local range. Okay, let's see what happens here. I am not taking any trades right now, okay? But if you did long the box of Mystery and Wonder, this is definitely a good TP1 because we are up right now from the bounce of the box of Mystery and Wonder. About a 4-to-1, right? So that's definitely a great TP1. You can take out half the trade. But let's see what happens here. If we can reclaim this white box that I have on my chart right here, I think we can go up to 115, 115K. I typically take profit one based on a combination of market structure and risk to reward, honestly. Moon Boys, long your longs, Hopium Copium says. Yeah, this is looking like it's setting us up for a trap. Honestly, the best scenario I could possibly think of right now, guys, is something like this. Right? something like this is going to be excellent. I'll tell you why. Remember, we have literally bullish divergences on pretty much every time frame right now. And so therefore, if we do get another low, right? If we do get another low here, we are going to have extremely bullish looking market Cipher B, which isn't showing right now. That's why I need Starlink. Right? So I need some Starlink. Come on, market Cipher B. Come on, come on, come on, market Cipher B. Yeah, it's gonna be so bullish, man. Can you imagine that? If we do make another low, dip down to, like some people say, like around 105.5. Man, that could be bullish. But shout out to Mark_3. God bless you, bro. All right, guys, I have to head out. God bless you all in Jesus' name. Thank you so much for being here. I love each and every one of you. I truly mean that. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.